All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. This is the last live stream of May, and we'll be in June. So half the year is almost gone.
Wow.
Yeah, time really flies, and I feel like it wasn't that long since we had our last live stream. So it always catches me by surprise when the week rolls around and it's like another Saturday and I need to get the links out to the live stream. But hopefully the others will join. But right now we have just myself and Stevo. Hey, Stevo. So yeah, you're
Hey, doing
telling me
good.
that you rode your ankle. Is that right?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, like I said, if you look at it, it's a little swollen right under the where the ankle is. You can see where it's not. Oh, there's Blarg.
Hey, Blarg.
Like I was
We
saying.
just started.
Well, hang on, I'll get some better sound and I'll say good day.
Sure.
Yeah, but like I was saying,
Yeah.
like I said, when I rolled my ankle, it's not bad. Like you can see a knot right underneath the ankle itself. That's where it's pulled. But like I said, I was able to go to work, walk normal, like no problem. Like so, you can feel it. It tenses up, but not bad.
Yeah.
You know, like I was talking.
Hey, Jason. Welcome. No worries. And yeah, I definitely understand what you mean by work. I've been pretty busy the last actually like few weeks with work, and this I haven't had really time to spend too much time on other things. And for this particular channel, I had been planning on putting up some videos, uh, especially the one against. Um, the argument for fine tuning. I did want
Oh
to put
yeah,
something up.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, specifically, I wanted to talk about the the puddle analogy because I think that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it, but just haven't had a chance. Yeah, but so I definitely understand, huh? Work can get in the way, and yeah, even on a Saturday, depending on your work, you
Yeah.
can kind of you may either have to work or you may have things that you need to do before Monday. Luckily in the U.S., it's a long weekend for us. It's a
Not for
Memorial Day
me.
weekend. Oh, is that right? You have to work on Monday?
Yes. I work in retail, so yes, I have to be there for work. Son of a
Hmm.
bitch.
Hey, oh, and he does a 12-hour each Saturday and
Yike.
Sunday.
Okay. Oh
Wow.
no. No, thank you. I've done that before. That is rough.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Um, so yeah, actually, now that you mention it, Steve-O, in terms of retail, are you feeling anything from the all the talks about tariffs, even when they're on and off? Is it affecting you at all?
Um, in terms of like sales and all that,
Yeah.
not necessarily around where I live. Like my area, it's not the high end, rich people, but it definitely has a lot of suburbanites and all that, so they have money. So it's not
Mm.
like that area is particularly hurting. And you like on weekends, we go through shit tons of freight in a day. So
Wow.
people have the
Okay.
money. So people have the money around here
Yeah.
now. So it's not like it really hurts in the grand scheme of things. I haven't really seen much of a change overall
Yeah.
because people are still going to spend regardless.
Well, and also it hasn't really taken hold. It's been kind of on again, off again kind of thing.
That's true too.
So yeah, so it's really been more of the uncertainty in regard to the price. But I would imagine if it does go into full force, there will be some kind of effect.
Yeah, I mean,
Hello, Tuna Man.
oh,
Yeah, just
sorry.
want to say, Tuna Man and his and his announcement that Neppy is back. But yeah,
No.
but the thing is, Neppy
Hooray!
has really never gone away, right? He's
No,
always been
yes,
in our hearts. So
He's
yes,
he,
he,
and
he's
he's
always
a
been with us.
he's a bit like a cold sore.
Oi, yeah.
Or the
Yes.
variety you get further down south.
Oh nope, nope. No, I don't want to think about that. No.
Yeah.
So, Blarg, have you seen Epi's posts? I
No,
haven't.
I was completely offline yesterday,
Hmm.
and pretty well most of the day before as well. It was my youngest nephew's 18th birthday
Ah.
on Friday, so we had the big party last night. I sent you a little picky of what I got up to for that.
Oh, did you? I didn't.
I just like 2 minutes ago.
Oh,
Ah.
So
okay. Whenever you say that you sent me something, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I miss it, and it's like then you go, oh no, I meant just like 2 seconds
like
ago.
seconds ago. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I
So
don't feel so bad, and
no, you should be fine. I'm not expecting you to be prescient.
let me just and it doesn't show any real. It doesn't show any person, so.
No,
Why is it so
Ooh.
black? It's like, 18th birthday
it's
is not like the end of your life or anything.
it's
Oh, I
it's
guess
a
those are blueberries.
yeah, it's black chocolate.
Uh-huh.
So the same sort of chocolates in Oreos. So it's black and gold. So that was the theme. So yes,
I
I made
didn't
that.
I didn't know Oreos were like black chocolate.
Yeah. So chocolate. You can. So if you've heard the term Dutch chocolate,
Oh yeah.
that Dutching process is you mix the chocolate with an alkaline, and that sort of modifies the chocolate, makes it less acidic. It makes it it sort of cooks it slightly into a sort of a slightly different color and a more mellow flavor. If you leave that process go longer, the chocolate gets darker and darker and eventually becomes black.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it's chocolate. It tastes like chocolate, a relatively mild chocolate, but it's completely black. So yeah, it made for interesting things. So yes, it's got little eclairs, mini eclairs around the outside in black, with black chocolate and black eclairs underneath it as well, and inside's a berry and lemon cheesecake.
Ooh. Wow. That is oh, what's the word? I can't think of the word right at the moment, but yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it will surprise. There wasn't any of it left. So
Wow.
so yeah, it got hoovered down. So that was pretty damn good.
Damn. Now what
So
cake?
so yes, that's why I was offline. I was getting that thing done. Oh, also we had a in Australia. It's not 911. It's a triple O. Is our emergency. My wife got to ring a triple O yesterday. We had a
Uh-oh.
it wasn't too bad. We had a fella from who lives up the street that we didn't know existed, but he was standing out the front on the footpath, yelling over the fence, wearing just a towel, and so yeah, he was having a psychotic break. So
Oh
the poor fella,
yeah.
he wasn't violent or anything. He just he was in a bad way. So we got
Yeah.
the police and the ambulance to come and talk to him,
Yeah, that's good.
and
That's
help.
good.
Also, helpfully, my
So I
neighbor
was
and
wrong, because
mm,
when you said that you called the emergency line, I presumed it was because your wife's water broke and your baby was due.
no, that only happens on TV. I, I saw that happened somewhere. One of the anchors on
Oh
an
yeah,
American
yeah, I
news
did hear
channel.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, go. Oh, water broke, but we're just gonna power on. Just go.
It
Hey, that's sign of a true professional right there.
Yeah, you
but
just
it's
go.
actually
If
not
she,
good for the baby to
yeah, if she
after the
can't
water
get her,
breaks.
yeah, if she can't get her face on Employee of the Week after that, I don't know what else you got to do. Honestly, commitment. Just keep your legs crossed. We got to finish
Oh
this.
man.
Clench and hold tight.
I if I was HR at that station, I'd be like, no, you don't get to go on. We, because it's.
You
could
think,
be
but
an issue.
there's a lot that could go wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
So yeah, weird. But anyway,
but anyway, let me share this on. So, yeah, Neppy is back.
Oh, I must
Let
have
me
missed
see
that
if I
video.
can.
Damn.
It's I guess the latest one. But
Okay. I haven't checked it recently, so yeah.
yeah, so
what do they put in the
uh,
water in Florida?
I
well,
don't
It's
know.
got to be. This has got to be something, because
I I
the two
responded
most
to. I didn't even read this, but I basically said, "Oh, did you get released early from your new prison sentence?" Because I mean, like he was gone all that time, and now he's back, in full force. You gotta think that he must have gone to jail again.
He had to have. Yeah. A troll like him, he won't stop until he's either in prison or in the grave. One of the two.
But it's like it's the same thing. Atheist ideas. Oh, you mean science?
Ugh.
Yeah, the same science that's being used to make it possible for him to post things.
Yeah, yeah. So he's going to just ignore all the other science that gives you all the technological benefits that you take advantage of, and actually all the technological advances that put him in jail. Probably there's probably a lot of forensic computer works, for the records
Yeah.
to show that he defrauded people. It took him to maybe that's why he doesn't like science.
That's a
It
good
sent him
thing.
to jail.
Could be.
But it's like him, don't think that far ahead.
Oh, and and this thing about demonstrating in real time, like quote unquote true nature, flowers blooming, reproduction, photosynthesis, digestion, respiration, gravity, sunshine. So at least he admits gravity. He's not like a flat earther who says there's no gravity. So I
Flat
guess
earthers.
he could be
No, it's
worse.
just electric. It's just electric pulls you down.
Uh,
If electric
And
pulls you
there's
down, electric should be able to push you away.
so much irony when he says you have a lot to learn when he knows nothing about the science that he mentions.
there's not an
Yeah.
electrical spark in his brain anywhere.
Well,
But
he's the reason I coined the what do I call it? The Blargle Man. Where is it? I'll just post it up here. Blargle Man's law.
the Adamic sin
Yeah.
curse is seen in every moment of every day. For example, when God sends natural disasters, sends diseases, gives kids with cancer, etc. Yeah, we see that every day. We see that Adamic sin curse every day. I'm not sure why he's bragging about that. All natural forces cause matter to decay. And this, oh, here it is. Have you heard of Blargman's law? Whenever a theist mentions entropy, they are about to demonstrate that they don't understand it. Well, I mean, the thing is, whenever guys like Neppy mentions anything,
Well,
we
that's
know
true.
that,
You can extend it
yeah,
further out
yeah,
for Neppy, but it's just this pretty well holds for every single. I've never seen a theist arguing for a God who's ever got entropy right.
yeah. I mean, Neppy's is probably one of the worst ones where he will deny that any new information is created, even when Shakespeare wrote all his, allegedly wrote all his plays, that wasn't new information because letters existed before. And he will probably come up with some explanation of how new letters forming, for example, when a J gets formed when a J didn't exist during the time of Jesus, somehow that's not new information either. So nothing is new information for him.
Does that idiot understand language at all?
He doesn't understand anything at all.
Yeah.
So
True.
no.
Um, Craig Kelly says a few of the people in the Church of Christ that he was a member of were flat earthers. Noticed I said was a member of. Wait, did not quite parse that correctly.
He used to be a member of the this, and yeah, too many flat earthers bailed out.
Oh,
Yeah, that seems appropriate. If your church is such full of people who are just so thick, wow, you can't even you look
That's
up at
not.
the sky and see the what do you call it, the International Space Station. You go, oh no,
yeah.
that's not up there. That's a fake. You go, it's a pretty damn good fake.
Oh yeah.
So I recommend you guys go watch the video from I think he goes by the Science Guy. Let me see if I can get my where's my his previous. I think it's just the Science Guy. Science. So he is responding to Flat Earth Dave Dearth. I don't know if you guys have heard him. Why can't
Say
I
that
find
again.
this?
Who was he?
Do you know Flat Earth Dave?
I've heard of him.
Dearth?
I have not seen of him. I've not seen
Oh,
his videos.
sorry, it's Bob the Science Guy.
I was about to say Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, that threw me off because it's Bob the Science Guy. So he has these videos. He recently posted some videos where he's responding to Flat Earth Dave, and what Flat Earth Dave is doing is he's he's arguing with ChatGPT to try to get ChatGPT to admit that the Earth is flat.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's just hilarious.
Oh,
And he's like arguing. The one I was just listening to, I didn't listen to that one yet, but the one where he talks about he's trying to argue with. Oh, I think this is the one. Let me see.
Make sure
Well,
it's
hi,
not
everyone. This is
copyrighted.
Bob the Science Guy. You know, in our last episode, we
He probably won't
watched
do a-
Dave
he probably won't
carefully
do a
craft
strike.
an argument based on cell tower
Let me see if I can
calculated speed.
get to where he's
47
talking
at cruising
ChatGPT.
altitude of, let's say, 7 miles. A viewer looking at it with their naked eyes sees a very small airplane in the sky. You agree, right?
Yes, at about 7 miles high, a 747 looks quite small to the naked eye.
It would look about the size of a number 2 pencil eraser held at arm's length. Something like that,
Later on,
right?
it's
Yes,
hilarious
that's
when he's arguing,
And some good
when he's like
understand your
badgering
skepticism.
ChatGPT.
Admit to me that that is an anomaly that you can't explain without making up stuff.
I see that it raises questions that seem difficult to reconcile at first glance. The ISS is much larger and more reflective than a plane.
Hold
and its
on.
path
You said a moment ago that the ISS is equivalent in size to a 747. You told me that I could not see a highly reflective 747 beaming direct sunlight to me at 50 miles. You did say that, correct?
Yes,
The funny thing is, he sounds like he's badgering his wife that he just caught cheating on him. You told me that this 747 couldn't be seen from 50 miles, and now you're telling me the ISS can be seen from 2,000 miles away? You're lying. It's just like the way he kind of badgers the ChatGPT is just, it's hilarious.
I hope he is not married.
And the way he assumes that ChatGTP has a clue what it's talking about.
Yeah,
You just
I
go,
mean, like,
because
You're right. You're right.
it's pretty damn good at getting stuff wrong. It's like it gets stuff really surprisingly right, but just because ChatGTP says something doesn't mean it's true.
yeah. And during the session, ChatGPT does make an error because it says that 747, even if it was like reflecting the sun, won't be visible at like 50 miles or something. And that isn't true. It actually, you would be able to see it if it was, reflecting the sun, especially if it was at night. But, it gets it wrong. And then that's basically what, Dave is just badgering him, ChatGPT on. You said it was visible, and now you're telling me that the ISS, you can see it at night. It's just like, it's just the tone of it almost sounds like he's going to start crying.
He is so desperate to get his point across. It is unbelievable.
And the thing is, like, he's posting this. That means that there are some sessions where he just gets completely humiliated by ChatGPT that he doesn't post. So this is like the best one that he can post. ChatGPT would have said that the world is flat if it were around in the past when everyone thought it was flat. Yeah, basically it's just a large language model. So if all the material that it got for training said that the earth is flat, that's what it would say.
And a lot of these theists don't understand that fact either.
Yeah. But you should definitely watch that video. It's and some of the other ones along with it, like the one where he's trying to convince ChatGPT that the whole that space thing with Katy Perry with Jeff Bezos is apparently like all fake. They didn't actually go up in the rocket, according to Flat Earth Dave. And by the way, Flat Earth Dave he's basically just grifting people to get on his grifting people to get on his app. He has some like Flat Earth app that he pushes people on, but it's known to essentially like be completely hackable, and it's been shown that people could easily just get everyone's personal information, everyone who signed on to that app. And despite it getting reported multiple times, he hasn't fixed it. So, if you even download it as a joke, be very careful about putting your personal information.
Yeah, sounds very fishy to me. Almost like he wants that to happen.
Craig Kelly says, would it not be fair to say because the moon is not flat, then it stands to reason Earth is also not flat? So those flat earthers will actually say that the moon is flat. Some of them will even say that the moon is just a projected light. So it's not like a physical thing. Because and also even if they did grant that the moon is a sphere, or they might actually say it's, even if it's physical, that it might actually be flat, because especially since we only see one side of it. So yeah, it doesn't. You just if they're stuck on flat Earth, none of that will actually they'll just kind of discount that. They'll find some excuses.
Except we see more than 50% of the moon. It's somewhere, from memory, it's something like 56 or 59% of the moon is visible from Earth.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see that you're looking, if you like zoom in, you can clearly see that light is going sideways into meteorite craters on the moon. And you just go, well, that's kind of a weird thing to be happening if the moon is flat. Why are these craters sideways to the sun?
Well, it's because it's all just projections. It's all CGI.
Of course, you say that.
Just like the rest of the sky.
And they can get a telescope and watch Mars rotate.
You could get a telescope and watch the ISS as it flies by, and these guys will still say that the ISS is not real.
Yeah, and you can measure the size of the ISS.
Yeah, I actually heard
with that telescope.
And with a large enough telescope, you can actually see people doing like spacewalks.
Ooh.
Apparently, you have to get to about 14-inch telescope to do that. And I guess like amateurs can get up to 14-inch telescope, but and I'm sure you really can't make out too much details, but apparently you can tell that there's a person that's doing a spacewalk. I mean, it's astounding, right? It's just like so obvious that. And these guys are like actually saying that satellites don't exist, that GPS satellites don't exist. Just think of the amount of denial and just like finding ways to, discount actual evidence that these flat earthers must do in order to continue to maintain that belief.
There's a good channel that I quite like, by a fellow by the name of Dave McKeegan.
Yep.
He's a photographer.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of the flat Earth debunking based upon images. And I quite liked the video that he did.
Like you went out on us, buddy.
Yeah, I definitely recommend McKeegan's channel
Am I
as
back?
well.
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I was saying he did a video where he photographed the transit of the ISS in front of the moon.
Yeah.
And demonstrated that is a surprisingly difficult shot to get. The amount of effort it took to get that shot. But yeah, it's good stuff. I like him.
Well, the thing is, like, the stuff he says is just like so. I mean, it's amazing. It's a lot of information, and it's very technical. A lot of it, and
Yeah,
that
but
he's
it's easy
using.
it's easy to check up on it. So
Yeah.
if you don't believe anything he says, the stuff is fairly straightforward to check up. So
if you are arguing in good faith, right?
Well,
I
of
just feel
course.
like 90% of the flat earthers just kind of get lost in like the first few minutes of his explanation.
That's where to begin with that.
Oh, and the whole Coriolis effect, that's also fake apparently to the flat earthers. Yeah, it's just
that's a neat trick, really.
what was that?
To fake the Coriolis effect. That's a hell of a neat trick.
Very much so, yes.
That's a worldwide thing that you've got to apparently be able to manage to do, and nobody notices it being done. You go, wow, those lizard aliens that are running the planet must be amazingly powerful.
It's apparently these flat earthers talk to pilots who tell them, no, we don't do anything to try to counter the Coriolis effect, and we don't do anything to continue to push our nose down of our airplane, because these guys think that you have to continually, like if the Earth was a sphere, and if you were flying a plane across the Atlantic or Pacific, that you would have to continually like push the nose down and continually adjust the trajectory of the airplane to counter these things, because they don't realize like the amount of impact on such a large scale is minuscule, and it's not the kind of small adjustments that you have to make anyway just for basic air turbulence is going to have a bigger effect than trying to counteract the Coriolis effect.
Well, yeah, that is true. I mean, the Coriolis effect is, even though it's as big as it is, it has such a small effect on just general physics that unless you're about a quarter the size of the planet, it's not going to affect you in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the things that really experience it are giant storms and winds.
Yep.
So
At the planetary level.
yeah, not individual people.
Right. But then these are people who think that the Earth can't be a sphere, because then there would have to be people in Australia walking upside down. I mean, they literally think that.
And also you get flung off into space because the Earth is spinning so fast.
Yeah.
And you just go, yeah, the Earth is spinning half the speed of the hour hand of a clock.
Well, it's 15 degrees per hour.
Yeah, but a clock will do two.
Obligatory. Thanks, Bob. R.I.P.
Yeah, the hour hand does 2 laps in one day. So yeah, the speed at which the hour hand is moving is exactly how fast the Earth is actually, or it's twice the speed the Earth is spinning. And you go, so it must fling stuff off the end of it. No.
I wonder if these guys like watched that movie They Live with Roddy
Oh
Roddy
yes.
Piper, and they must like think, yes, that's exactly what's happening. We just don't have those glasses yet.
I mean,
I don't know that.
What was that?
That's not a familiar. I don't know that movie.
Oh,
you-
really? Oh,
Hmm.
You want to get?
gotta-
Who wants to give the rundown to him real quick?
Let me see.
Is
if
it
I
worth
can
watching,
just-
or is it?
Yes, to me it is. Yes, but I'm a big fan
Yes,
of that
it's a cult classic now. Oh, so you may have seen this, and maybe.
Have you ever heard the
but-
phrase "I've come to chew bubblegum, kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I've run all out of gum"?
Yes, that has come
That's
up
come from that
occasionally.
movie. That's come from that movie.
Ah. So it's got some
And
nice
also it's
one-liners.
Yes.
It's made famous in the video game Duke Nukem.
Yes. I
Uh-huh.
love that game series.
Well, yeah, I loved it. Sugar baby.
So these aliens essentially have taken over the world, and they put all these like subliminal messages, like sleep, no thought, obey.
yeah,
and all
but they
that.
covered it as actual ads and stuff, and the aliens look like humans.
And you can't see what actually is reality until you have these glasses on. So yeah, it's kind of an old movie, but it definitely there is yeah, there are a lot of allusions to it in culture. So I would say just for
yeah.
that, it's worthwhile.
It's you wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but it's definitely if you love schlocky sci-fi fix with great one-liners, yes, you'll love that movie.
Yeah, John Carpenter. He's a classic.
Let me see if I can just do a quick. Oh, here.
Last week we had we missed some people because of the Guts Gibbon.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I had a chance to watch much of that. Oh, I'll let this run. Hang on.
yeah.
Oh, look, it's Korean subtitles.
Things wanted. Why are they here? You still don't get it, do you, boy?
They have recruited the rich and the powerful.
They're running the whole show.
Wake up! They're all about you, all around you. Blinded us to the truth.
Take a look.
They are safe as long as they are not discovered.
I don't know what they are or where they came from, but we gotta stop them. Stay away from me. What these are? They have us. Look at them. They're everywhere. Our owners.
We have no other choice.
Yeah, I'm not sure my audio keeps on going off. Anyway, yeah, you can watch that.
Yep, I'll look it up. Yeah, John Carpenter. He's great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so-
Go ahead.
I was going to say, moving on to the Guts Gibbon debate. You go, what a demolition! She absolutely destroyed the Dr. Bergman. It was fantastic.
Okay.
She did good. She did a lot of preparation, and unsurprisingly, Dr. Bergman couldn't keep to the topic of the debate. It was meant to be whether the fossil record supports human evolution, and he kept going over to, I know about cancer research, and DNA mutations cause cancer. Therefore, unless you can demonstrate that you can get mutations that turn a monkey man into a human, the fossil record can't show you anything. So let's not talk about the fossil record. So but she was prepared with examples of mutations that did things like, for example, increase the number of neurons in a human brain significantly compared to Neanderthals, and say, look, there's a mutation that has that's different between us and them, and has resulted in a increase, not a degradation, as is the standard argument. So yeah, she brought all of the details and the evidence, and mostly he just went with naysaying and say, we all know it's impossible.
Yeah, he sounds like he's one of those that says there's got to be some kind of intermediate species that we could see, like say we go from half human, half ape or something like that. He sounds like one of those type of guys.
Yeah, he says Lucy's just a pygmy human. That's it. So yeah, what we've got there is basically in the fossil record is just freaks, is his main argument, and we've just lined them up and said, they're all. We just put them in order, to make it look like we're evolving, but no, they're just variation within the kind.
And the thing is, these guys think that Lucy is like the only Australopithecus specimen that we have.
No, we found more than that.
There's so many. There's hundreds of them. It's one of the most evidenced genuses. So Erica had so much info about that as well, but he just keeps going back to. But look, it's not. They only had 40% of the bones, and you go, yes, but you can reflect them to the other side, which means it's close to 80%. But when you do it by weight, it's not even 20%. And you go, yeah, because didn't have Lucy's feet or hands. Feet or head. So there's much of the.
And how
much
is that
of the weight.
relevant?
Yeah, it isn't, because there are other examples of her exact species with that were not only not only had the head and feet, but were in articulation in the fossil, in the fossil bed. So the head was connected to the vertebral column. So nobody can argue that head didn't belong to that vertebra, and that someone had gone and put extra or removed vertebra from the column, because they were all there together in the position they were originally. So he just kept going back to but Lucy, but Lucy. Yeah. The thing which is Craig Kelly made a comment, sounds like Kent Hovind, lol. The thing that's different is that Jerry Bergman actually has some background in some of the science. He's not just a lying wannabe. So he's worse than Kent Hovind because he knows better.
Yeah, sounds like he was just gotten into debate to just grift, to just get himself out there, so so I could. I lost my
he may believe what he's saying. I don't know, but because he's very certain that he's correct, but yeah, he just kept getting shut down all the time.
Well,
it was terrific.
By the way, I did. Wasn't Horger doing some kind of like a road trip? I wonder how that's going. Wasn't he like arranging for something?
What have you been up to,
Olga? By the way, I was in terms of Neppy. I mean, like, oh my God, the irony is just lost. Clearly, insults is all you lost dweebs ever have. He's like insulting as he's saying that insults is all we have.
Oh, the irony, the delicious irony.
Oh my God. It's just your agonizing hatred for my debunking every facet of your ridiculous atheist religion. LOL.
Jeez. Lucky I had my irony meter unplugged, because it would have broken it.
It went to 11 and more.
Yeah.
I mean, everything he posts is just stupid insults with nothing behind it.
Where is the evidence? Where?
And also when he does this, I mean, I'm sure he must just have this kind of like I guess some copy paste thing that he has ready to go. I dominate this channel. I debunked all atheist ideas 50 years ago. And that is why the atheism died 50 years ago, because he dominated this channel.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he dominated this channel 50 years ago. I don't know if you guys realize that.
I remember them saying stuff like that. And I mean, like, really, man? That's all you got?
Yeah, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, the never-ending
I'm
fraud is
glad
so good.
he's back to kind of give entertainment to people, because I think it's probably been getting pretty boring with just Florida having the whole
Yeah.
channel to himself.
That's true. That's true. It's the same. I've kind of got bored with Florida's malarkey, and so it'll be good to have Neppy back, so we can curb stomp him a little as well.
Oh, wait. His knowledge far outweighs anyone else within 10,000 miles of this lollipop channel. All reality can be demonstrated in every moment of every day. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And Tuna Man was busy responding to Neppy, I guess.
Actually, I was talking last night with a good friend of mine who's a really devout Catholic, and really he's a great guy. But mentioned the Satan, what do they call themselves? The Satanist religion over in America, and how they call them the Satanic Temple.
The Church of Satan, or the Satanic Temple?
No, Satanic Temple. Yeah, and how they do such a fantastic job of demonstrating the problem with having religion in government and schools and the likes by offending the hell out of Christians. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so conflicted over that story." So in one sort of thing, he's like, Satan, and then the other side is like, take that. And yeah, he was. I knew he would enjoy the knowledge about the existence of them and getting rid of them, because, as he was saying, he'd be happy if we got rid of Easter and Christmas holidays, and then he had to take them out of his annual leave. So, and you go along and you get 8 holidays. So we get about 8 holidays a year. Public holidays, and you just pick whatever holidays you want that are appropriate to you. And so, yeah, that's the way he sort of looks at things. Nobody should be forced into any religion, and nobody should be forced into taking holidays in someone else's religion that they don't believe in. So, as I said, he's a good
in the
fellow.
U.S., at least some corporations, what they have is a floating holiday. So it's essentially like a day that you can pick any holiday as a holiday, and then just take time off. It's just one extra personal day off. But it's to kind of address issues where there might be some holidays that people would not consider holidays.
Yeah, not like one of the major holidays that everybody seems to celebrate.
Yeah,
Like Pi Day and Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
I mentioned also Biblical Pi Day. He's like,
Wait,
I know Biblical Pi, but I don't know what day that would be. I go, it's the 0th of May. Oh, sorry, 0th of March. Yeah.
Which doesn't exist, just like God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
he's well aware of that quote.
Yeah, one more Neppy thing.
Okay.
So once you state that the universe had a beginning, Big Bang or Genesis, you then must admit that the universe had a cause due to the laws of cause and effect. So, I mean, it's a good thing that atheists don't say that the universe had a beginning, and Big Bang doesn't mean that the universe had a beginning. Even
it's the beginning of an
Genesis doesn't
expansion.
really say that the universe had a beginning, because if you read it correctly using the Hebrew grammar, it says only that God began to create the heavens and the earth, and he made it out of the deep waters, the chaotic waters, which is actually very coincidental to most other creationist myths out there. which says that whoever the God is, they are making the universe, essentially bringing order into chaos. So there is chaos. This God comes in and brings order to it, and that's how the universe is born. So it's very much like, pre-existing creationist stories.
Yeah,
So there is no
it's
beginning.
it's exactly the same. So it's the same general story as the Greek stories. It's the same general story as the Zoroastrians. Yeah, it's a really common, and yeah, there's no. There's actually was a recent video by what's his name? The guy always calls Yahweh Adonai. Talking about how
Dan McClellan.
Dan McClellan, how
Yeah.
the idea of a monotheistic God is not found in the Bible and didn't appear until the end of the 2nd century in any form, and wasn't coined until the 17th century. It's a very late idea in a lot of ways. That and in his case, what he's talking about is that it requires, for a monotheistic God, you necessarily require creation ex nihilo. So that concept just isn't found in the Bible. It's certainly not found there in Genesis, because he just divided the waters, and he didn't create the waters.
So there's something there to begin with. Therefore, no creation ex nihilo.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of these Christian concepts are relatively modern, right? And also the wrestling with the Trinity was like a big thing, because, they didn't want it to sound like they had a polytheism, so they had to come up with all these philosophical and theological contraptions to say, no, 1 + 1 + 1 is 1, not 3.
Yeah, well, that concept wasn't found in any of the Greek manuscripts at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a Latin, so it was in the Latin Vulgate, and sort of came out of the 2nd century, 3rd century. The sort of idea, what they're trying, because you look at the Gospels, line them up. Jesus gets more and more divine as the Gospels go on, until eventually he is God. And now, oh my God, we've got this sort of concept of one God, and how do we square that circle? So they invent that sort of concept, but it wasn't in any of the Greek manuscripts. And then Erasmus, when he was producing the sort of collated version of the Greek Bible, or the original text, putting it all together for a printing, left it out of, what was it, 1 John 5:7-8 is where you find the Trinity verse wasn't in the Greek manuscript, so he left that out, and then he was given a very hard time about it. And he's going, well, I have no manuscripts that contain this. If you can find a Greek manuscript that has it, I'll put it in the next edition. So someone went off and penned a Greek manuscript that contained that, and then there you go, there's one. So he was forced to put it into the 2nd edition, and basically that remained the source of all Bibles for the next 300 years. So that's where the Trinity came from. It's not there in the original Bible. Like the 3 is there all the time, but the 3 = 1 doesn't exist anywhere in the Bible, except in that fraudulent verse.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of effort to, come up with and maintain this idea of the Trinity.
And they've still been doing it ever since.
Yeah, so it's still in all of the Bibles that are derived from the KJV, but all of the other Bibles do not contain it. They also don't contain there's a verse in, is it John, that has the woman in sin? That's not there in. So that's an addition.
Yeah, there was actually a Dan McClellan video talking about how because there's some TikTokers saying that they are removing things from the Bible, even though what was happening is since the King James
I'll be
version,
right back. One second, guys.
Say again. Oh,
I'll be right back in
yeah.
just a second. All right.
Okay. Yep. Sure. Yeah, in the King James version, there are parts of the Bible that were actually added in, relatively late, and now that is because it didn't exist in earlier manuscripts that were
Yeah.
found since the King James version. And so those are removed in newer translations, and then people are saying no, they're actually removing parts of the Bible, and they ascribe it to some conspiracy to hide the truth and whatnot. But it's really because it's been found that these were actually stuff that were just added in, and I'm not sure which verse you're talking about, but in that video, it does call out the parts.
Yeah, it's 1 John 5, 7 to 8. If you want to pull that up, you can have a look at it. Yeah, Craig, you're asking, is the Trinity more a concept rather than a word found in the Bible? It's not even a concept found in the Bible. There's just mention of three things in a fairly often, because that's just kind of how rhetoric works really well in spoken language. This sort of law of threes works quite well when you're telling a story. So you see three things mentioned quite regularly together, and they can be different things, but it's only in that particular verse is the concept that 3 equals 1 found anywhere. So that's the actual essence of the Trinity. Not that there are 3 things, but that the 3 things equals 1. So yeah, and it's completely fake. It's not found in any manuscript prior to any Greek manuscript prior to Erasmus in the 16th century.
What was that verse?
1 John
1 John 5,
7 to 8, I think.
5, 7 to 8. Okay, so let me share this.
So if you pull up the KJV version of it.
First John, right? Or John?
1 John.
What? Oh, 1 John, okay. 5, 7 through 8. There are 3 that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost, and these 3 are one.
3 are one. There it is. That's the Trinity. These 3 are one. So this is the KJV. Now, if you switch it over to the NRSV UE.
Yep. There are 3 that testify, the Spirit and the water and the blood, and these 3 agree.
Yeah. That's it. It's not, there are 3 that testify, the Spirit, the water, and the blood. These 3 agree. There is no 3 are one in there. So yeah, that's it. That was that's the fake to insert that into the Bible.
So the left is the King James version, the right is the NRSV UE.
Oh, nice. So yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah. How do you like reset it? Okay, maybe.
Sorry, what are you trying to reset?
Because it was like off. I don't know how.
It's how it's written, I guess. It's how it's set up.
Yeah, it'd been kind of good if you can kind of reset it based on like if I select a specific verse.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
verse 7 is pretty long in the King James version, and
Yeah.
here it just says there are 3 that testify.
Yeah, that's it. So they inserted,
This
they got
whole
rid of the 3 that
section.
testify
Yeah.
and then added all the rest of it.
Yeah, I know there's like also like stories that like a whole story that no longer doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's the woman in sin, I think. It's something.
Yeah.
Let me see. Business. So the woman taken in adultery is an insertion, and the also the long ending of Mark is an insertion as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well
Which,
documented.
Yeah, that one we know very well. But the woman taken in adultery.
And while he's
John
working,
7:53.
and while y'all doing
John.
that, I want to give a shout out to Pelosia. You know, the YouTuber Pelosia.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just recently watched a couple of videos describing how the Gospels were, cannot be trusted whatsoever. I recommend that to anybody who wants to see that.
Yeah, John 8 is the woman taken in adultery.
Yeah. So it's actually the whole thing about he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone.
Okay.
Is not. It turned out was added in later.
Okay. Interesting.
He
I didn't know
is
that.
without sin among you, let him first. So this is in there, but I think they put in. Oh, it's still in here.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I think it's bracketed. Oh yeah, the most ancient authorities lack 753 811. So yeah, they put more of they bracket it, I guess. This in fact, I think because it's so long, it starts from in the John 7. So
Yeah.
they bracketed from like from here. So it basically says from here on it's not quite right. But it would have been hard for them to just like completely take it out, I guess. So they bracket it out.
Yeah. So yes, another insertion. So yeah, the Bible does that a bit.
But this one is like pretty significant, right? That this gets referred to a lot about this whole, let who amongst you who don't have sin cast the first stone.
Yeah.
That's one of their favorite sayings.
Yeah.
And yep, not there.
Oops.
So there's also an issue with one of the other books. So what Erasmus didn't have all. So Erasmus had very little access to manuscripts. He just had a couple. He borrowed a couple from a person he knew, but he was still missing some that he only had in Latin. So he translated the Latin bit back into Greek, and then that became the basis of the translations going forward. So then people went along and translated what he had translated back from the Latin into Greek, and then translated that forwards into English. So, yeah.
So Craig, he makes another interesting point. The apocryphal books, it's removed in the United States, and a lot of it, was due to basically cost. When they were, I think, coming up with these Bibles and they were distributing it, it was cheaper to not include the apocryphal books. So they started making these books without, with those removed. And it just kind of stuck. At least that, I think that was another Dan McClellan video that explained that.
Mm.
Interesting. Because I thought it was just like they're just so out there that they didn't mesh
No.
well with the established canon.
No, because like in the Catholic Bibles, it like Greg said, it got it retained. Removed also in UK. Yeah, I don't know if there was some kind of connection to that with the Americans not including it. Oh,
Hey,
tilting windmill.
Hey, tilting.
Hey, Tilting.
It's all right. You missed the really, really fun part, but it's okay.
Yeah, it was so good. So good. And unfortunately, I don't think QC managed to record any of it. So,
Yeah, technical issues. And
Damn it,
and
man.
I have to blame. It's because of how often you kept mentioning the trolley problem, and I got drunk.
Yeah.
And that's why I couldn't record it. In the UK,
no,
it
that's
was
right.
a doctrine problem.
We did spend a bit of time talking about the reason you weren't here last time as well was the Gutsick-Ibn debate. So we spent a bit of time with that.
All right. Since Tilting Windmill just got on, we're going to end the stream here. And I'm kind of joking. It's obviously not because of Tilting, but I do need to end the stream a little bit earlier today, in celebration for Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Yay.
Which reminds me. So, Blarg, have you kept track of what is it, the Big Beautiful Bill or One Big Beautiful Bill or whatever?
Yep.
Oh my God, that is such a travesty. And they actually, well, at least it passed the House. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the.
Yeah, well, it seems a little bit like they're suffering the same problem in the Senate as they were suffering back during the attempt to repeal Obamacare. You've got some people on one side saying, "Oh no, this is too terrible. You can't possibly do that to people," and then on the other side, you've got people saying, "This isn't going far enough." So, and you can't write a bill that manages to thread that needle, and you go, "Ha, suck it."
I mean, the thing is, like, the bill is like harming a lot of people.
13 million.
And there are some Republicans that kind of like realize that, you know what, this is not a good look for us. But they're just like still so many that's like, well, Trump wants it. We got to do it.
Yeah, but also Trump said nobody's touching. It repeatedly said nobody's touching the Medicaid or Medicare. You go, you can't touch it, and then you go, yeah, they're touching it, all right. Yeah. So that will be interesting to see whether he actually pokes his nose in and follows through on that, or whether it was just bullshit that he was lying about. Which would be really surprising because Trump's not known to lie about anything. So, yeah. But you see, I did notice the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill resulted in Moody's downgrading the US credit score.
Oh, yeah.
Because
can you just imagine the how apoplectic that the MAGA would have been if this happened under Biden's watch?
Yeah,
if we lost
we're going to put $3 trillion, and we're going to put $3 trillion on the deficit. You go, yeah, they would be foaming at the mouth.
They would have been up in arms, and Fox would be constantly talking about how Biden did this and that, and then now it's like, oh no big deal.
Yeah, calling for impeachment and jailing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it is pretty bad. There is kind of like an opposite side to that, where there are people who are kind of blowing it up out of proportions and saying that the bill is going to let Trump ignore court orders and all that stuff. So there's been a little bit, too kind of an overreaction on one end, but just by itself, it's just a horrible bill. Let me just share what someone was posting. So they were basically saying that what this bill was doing is, let me see. It becomes okay. He can delay or cancel elections legally. That's not true. He can ignore Supreme Court rulings for a year or more. That's not true. He can fire government workers for political disloyalty. He doesn't need a bill to do that. He can do that now. Judges can't enforce their own orders. That's not true. Protests can be tracked and criminalized, which is already happening. He doesn't need a bill for that. LGBTQ plus rights, education, healthcare, and media gutted. I mean, all these are being kind of done. Your VPN tracked, your vote suppressed, your speech flagged. These are just kind of, hyperbolic or things that's not really directly being done by the bill. But I think people are misrepresenting it to make it seem really horrible. But there are just horrible things within the bill. You don't have to be hyperbolic to say that this bill was horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible.
I also heard some complaints saying that it's a reconciliation bill, which is why it can't be gerrymandered. Oh, not gerrymandered. Sorry. Filibustered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it's not that. There's a whole pile of stuff in there that has nothing to do with reconciliation. As you were just sort of talking about, all those changes to laws that have nothing to do with finances. So, and again, the MAGA would have been apoplectic if Kamala Harris or President Kamala tried to sneak that through, or Biden. They'd be losing their mind.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so let's wrap it up here. I'll just have to confirm that this is another week where Flojo did not show up. And I don't know if we need to count Nepi on him continuing to not show up at all, just because he is so afraid to talk to real atheists. And
but Nepi doesn't need to show up. He's already defeated us all 50 years ago.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's why he's not showing up.
There's a big chunk of the people who weren't even fetuses back then, and he defeated them.
So the only way we can get him on is to build a time machine, go back in time 50 years, and have him come on and defeat atheism in real time.
I thought he'll do it like that, but we could drag it back.
I gotta wonder, what is going on in his head? Does he actually believe that? Like when he says stuff like that? I
don't know.
I kind of feel like
Delusional.
I kind of feel like it's like a Dark Dawkins type of guy. Talks a big game but can't back it up.
It does seem like a delusion, doesn't it? Where he's deluded himself into thinking he somehow, quote unquote, defeated atheism, and yet he's still here. He's defeated atheism, but he's still
fighting against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, he's over 150 years old. So he didn't start defeating atheism until after he became a centenarian.
Well, so he first defeated the Nazis in World War II, and I think he fell into some frozen water, and then he woke up 50 years ago to defeat atheism.
No. He's been super busy. No. He's been super busy the whole time. Because if you have a look at his resume, there's 150 years of experience in it. So
and wasn't part of it as some spy?
Yes, he worked for the CIA for 20 years.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he was a teacher in over on the East Coast, and he was something else. He's a medical surgeon, not a tree surgeon, and not just a surgeon as doctors call themselves, but he was a medical surgeon for a long time, and he was in the Coast Guard, and he's been everywhere, man.
Well, talk about a Renaissance man.
Oh, nice, Craig. All talk and no trousers. I like that. that was like the guy yesterday. He was all talk with no trousers, but he was wearing a towel. So
At least he had that much.
But when the police asked, "Is he got anything underneath that?" I could confirm that no, he doesn't, because there's a hole in the towel at the back, and you can see a bit of arsenic sticking through.
He knew Moses. Right, Noah.
Tilting has no idea what we're talking about.
That's all right. He'll catch back up.
Oh yeah. Let us know how you think of that one, Tilting. We watch it back.
Oh my.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we're just kind of BSing here too much now. Let's call it a night.
this was fun, and I'll have to keep trying to get someone. It may be possible, Alex. Might be able next week. Yeah.
Well, I've been trolling around Discord. Maybe I could probably find somebody there.
And even on Twitter, when I challenge people, I do want to bring someone who's willing to have like an actual discussion. Not just getting on and just like being just going off and not actually engaging in an actual discussion. But that's really hard to find.
Paul just showed up. He just gonna miss everything.
And you would be surprised at how many people end up blocking me.
Oh, of course.
No,
nobody wants to block you.
And then the funny thing is, like, I think in the last week or so, I've had so many liberals block me because they can't figure out that I'm being sarcastic, and so they're like going bye-bye.
We really do need that sarcasm font.
Oh, come on!
Because,
I mean, like, it was like so obvious that I was being sarcastic.
But still. But the one I saw, which I thought would work brilliantly, is italics leaning in the other direction.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Then you just go. You see italics leaning in the other direction. It's sarcasm. Yeah. I do use the /s to try and make it more obvious.
Yeah, but not everybody understands that one.
Yeah, but if we had a sarcasm font.
We need to make that the sarcasm font.
Unfortunately, I would be using the sarcasm font sarcastically. So,
in which case you've got sarcasm. You've got sarcasm font squared, which is leaning right over like some drunk person.
I thought it'd be more like a double negative.
Yeah, no. It just keeps going over until eventually it becomes. It's impossible to actually understand what's being written there. It's just like a flat line.
That's about right.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, this was fun, folks. So we will. Wait, hold on. No QC, thanks for the channel. Is helpful for me to challenge my beliefs. And I get a lot of people who will just say, "Oh, why don't you challenge your beliefs?" But they will offer nothing to challenge. I mean, like, if someone actually came and offered a compelling evidence or just an argument, I would definitely be open to it. But if it's just, "Oh, why don't you challenge your beliefs?" It does nothing. So anyway, that's just me ranting. But all right. So
thanks, Tuna.
We will meet again next week, and hopefully it'll be just as fun, and hopefully Tilting will show up on time.
You better.
And Craig will be okay with staying up this late once again. And thanks, Montreal Paul. Thanks for coming in, even though you did arrive later even than Tilting. So anyway, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, Jason. And we had a smaller crowd today because we didn't have John Clark. Nor actually, what's going on with Ook? When is he coming
Yeah,
back?
I was just wondering about when we'll get a Sanook back in the crowd.
We need that grumpy old bastard back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ook, if you're listening, we hope you're okay. Thoughts and prayers. Just hopefully that helps.
Yes, I've put in a word with Holy Unicorn. She lives just down in my garage, so it's pretty easy to do.
But I do hope you're okay and hope things are going well, Ook. And we look forward to having you back. So with that, I will get the outro ready and I'll end it here. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you next week.
Everybody.
Well.